Reverence to Rape to Respect was different than 3 Weeks in May in its major metaphors. And of course, the way it played out was different, but there were some similarities. Structurally, it was sort of the idea of operating on multiple cultural levels to bring the awareness of violence against women into a larger discourse. We did have a lot of discourse around one of the most important metaphoric aspects of the project, and that was the showgirls, or the Las Vegas Strip. The Strip had a very particular economic role in Las Vegas, and it also was highly gendered. If you drove into Las Vegas, you would immediately begin to see female bodies served up, along with cuts of meat served up on all the billboards. That's kind of what the public space looked like in Las Vegas at that time. There was like, come here and get all the free buffet meat you can want, and by the way, here's a few showgirls, scantily clad and exposing their ribs in ways that looked a whole lot like sides of beef. The other thing that was interesting about Las Vegas was the desert. It was this intense, dense urbanization, lots of lights and neon, everything, right in the middle of this vast desert. There were a lot of images that made that geographic location particular in the project that we developed. We invited Margot St. James, who was a prostitute who had started Coyote, Call Off Your Old Tired Ethics. I developed a piece called There Are Voices in the Desert in the gallery in the school, UNLV, that sponsored the project. In the gallery was a room, and in the room you had to kind of duck and go in, and it was covered with sand, and there were 3 lamb carcasses, and these lamb carcasses were dressed like showgirls. They had feathers, they had beads, and they had these sort of grotesque smiles. Throughout the course of the week or so that the installation was up, I invited women to come into the space and write their experiences on the walls of what had happened to them in Las Vegas around violence. During then the evening opening of this art exhibition, Nancy Buchanan did a piece, and Kathy Kaufman did her piece with the showgirls interviewed, and I did Voices in the Desert. I sat on top of the room, on top of the door, so when you crawled into the space, I would be the nude woman. Unfortunately, in Las Vegas, I couldn't be nude because that would somehow scandalize them, which I thought was massively ironic. I had to wear a bodysuit. But anyway, when people came in, when they sort of crawled in, I would drop necklaces over them. So when they would read, there would be me, there would be the lambs, there would be the voices of women on the walls, and they would be symbolically connected with the beads. And then afterwards, everybody went out, after they came out of the room, and they sat in a circle with candles, and they began to talk about the experience of rape in Las Vegas. And there was a sort of a consciousness-raising session for men and women that were part of the witnesses for that gallery piece.